Welcome to ABC Interactive English. That guy over there, he's Shane.
That is me, I'm Shane. And that beautiful young lady over there is Winnie.
That's me.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up
Yep.
the Sphinx Without a Secret Part 3. However, Shane, I must ask you, do you really think there's no secret?
Well, I'm telling you right now that, where's the Sphinx?
Oh.
I've been waiting for a Sphinx to come out.
Oh, interesting.
Or them to go to Egypt and see a Sphinx, or I don't know, but I haven't seen any Sphinxes, and they're saying this is without a secret, but there's a lot of secrets going on in here.
So you're waiting for the Sphinx, because as we know, this is part 3. We've heard of the word Sphinx in the title, but we have yet to see or hear about a Sphinx. However, I am more curious about why Lady Elroy is so secretive.
She is quite secretive, yeah, and as a result, Murchison also has to be quite secretive because it's like they have a secret affair, love affair going on here.
What do you think the secret is? Because I think Lady Elroy, I think she's secretly married or something.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe she's not even a widow.
I don't think so. I think maybe because she's a widow, it's not like today where you're a widow and people kind of encourage you to get remarried. Maybe you shouldn't get remarried when you're a widow in those days.
In those days,
Maybe it would be like a scandal if you did something like
oh, your husband just died. Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you think that's why they're so secret?
Yeah, I have no idea, but hopefully we find out some more information because I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yes. Buckle up because we're going to be doing the Sphinx Without a Secret Part 3.
Let's get into this, and I'm about to fall over.
Oh,
Murchison stared at her in surprise. Earlier that day, he saw her enter a strange house. So he took out the handkerchief she dropped and questioned her. Lady Elroy said she went there to meet nobody. Murchison didn't believe her. He got mad, said terrible things to her, and left.
the final part of the Sphinx Without a Secret. So as we know, Murchison, Elroy, secrecy. Lot of secrecy.
Part 3, a 3-parter. So this is the final chapter of this lesson, right? Okay, let's find out what happens. Okay, so Murchison stared at her in surprise. Earlier that day, he saw her enter a strange house.
I'm telling you, this Lady Elroy, she's one little mischievous, little secretive lady.
Yeah, she's got a lot of
I don't know if I can trust her.
I don't know, yeah. She seems a bit sketchy to me.
Go and continuing. So he took out the handkerchief she dropped and questioned her. Okay, so as she was walking, she dropped her little handkerchief. And so
you can say handkerchief or handkerchief.
Right,
yes. So
yeah.
she said both of them.
Yes.
Which just shows you both of them are
Right.
allowed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is a handkerchief or handkerchief? It's a noun and it just means a square piece of fabric that someone keeps in their pocket. Okay, so usually to wipe, a little tear or blow your nose. And actually growing up, my dad he used a little bandana as his handkerchief. So every time I would have a runny nose, he would just pop it on my face. Yeah, it was very sweet.
It's always very romantic when a woman is crying and a man pulls out a handkerchief.
Thank you so much. When you're at the opera, and it's so beautiful.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. But okay, we have a vocabulary word, question. So this is a verb, to question.
So not a noun.
Somebody, right? So we have question, which can be a noun, like a question. But here is to question. It means to ask somebody questions about something. So he's questioning her about this handkerchief that he found.
Right. Something suspicious. He feels like it's suspicious.
Yeah. So for example, we could say 2 men are being questioned by the police.
Right, like an interrogation. Like, did you kill this man?
Ooh, no, of course not.
He did it.
No, it wasn't me.
That's his secret.
It wasn't me. Okay. All right, so Lady Alroy said she went there to meet nobody.
Hold on a second. You don't say you're meeting a nobody. That doesn't make sense.
To meet nobody.
That sounds sketchy.
That sounds weird. Okay. So Murchison didn't believe her.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. He got mad, said terrible things to her, and left.
Oh, yeah. This is a little lover's quarrel. A little fight.
Yeah, they're having a little fight. Well, if you say terrible things to somebody, what does terrible mean?
So terrible is an adjective that usually means, something that's extremely bad, horrible, just not good, okay? So just like, okay, I stubbed my toe the other day and it was terrible. It felt terrible.
Oh, okay. So he said some terrible things. He's mad. Well, because I think, just like I'm sure that Murchison is thinking, is that there was somebody there that she was meeting.
Oh, so you kind of think, okay, Murchison, he says some mean things, and you're like, I don't blame him.
Well, I would be pretty angry if I thought that maybe she's cheating on me. She has another man that she's meeting.
Well, like I said, I think that she is secretly having an affair. Or she's maybe secretly married or has another boyfriend.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Right?
And so that would definitely get me angry, so I don't blame Murchison.
Here's the thing, though. He doesn't have concrete evidence. He only found a handkerchief.
So he doesn't really have proof.
He just knows that he knows that she went to a building. He knows that she went to a building, but then she says she was meeting nobody. That's the weird part.
You could just say, I went by myself, but I went there to meet nobody.
That's almost worse. You could say, I'm meeting a friend. I'm meeting a teacher. Not, I'm meeting nobody. That just sounds very secretive.
I went there by myself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, why don't we take a break and find out how all of this concludes.
A month later, he read about her death in the newspaper. Then, Murchison explained why Lady Alroy went to the house. She simply sat, read books, and had tea. She loved secrecy, but she was just a sphinx without a secret.
Welcome back from the break, Shane. How about a recap?
Ooh, okay. All right, so we're left now with a very angry Murchison because he saw her enter, Lady Alroy, he saw her entering this house, and she dropped a handkerchief, and he's like, hey, what were you doing in that house? And she's like, I was just by myself. I went there to meet nobody, right?
Weird. Yeah.
So he doesn't believe her, and he's gotten angry, and basically, he's mad.
He's mad.
He's mad.
He says some not so nice stuff.
He said some pretty terrible things to her.
Wow.
So I don't know. Did they break up? I'm not really sure what happened exactly, but let's continue.
Okay. A month later, he read about her death in the newspaper. Sorry, Shane. She's dead.
What?
Yeah.
So
First of all, harsh way to find out. That's a horrible way to find out that your girlfriend is dead.
especially after you said a bunch of horrible things to her,
I
terrible
would feel
things.
really bad.
Yeah. Okay. And not only that, he's just like reading through the newspaper and finds out that she died. So a newspaper is just it's a set of large printed sheets of papers, right? These days, it could be a website, right?
Right.
But we mean like an old school
black
one
and white,
with made of paper, and
yeah.
It's got ink on it.
Very
right?
thin.
It contains news and articles.
Or the sports section.
Sure,
yeah.
Advertisements, and it's usually published every day or published every week,
right.
Maybe every month, but on a regular basis.
I like to read the comics.
Oh, yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
So, for example, my grandfather likes to read the newspaper in the morning and do the crossword puzzle.
Oh, I love it. The New York Times
Crossword puzzle is fun.
But anyway, that's a horrible way to find out that your girlfriend is dead.
That is true. Okay, so then Murchison explained why Lady Alroy went to the house. She simply sat, read books, and had tea.
Hold on a minute. All she was doing was just basically what I do on a Saturday?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So she wasn't really like keeping a secret.
There was no secret. In fact, I think she just liked to keep this kind of feeling of secrecy to make people very interested in her.
Like, oh, what's her deal? Like, what's wrong with her? Or why she's so sick? Turns out there's nothing.
She's simply drinking her tea, doing, doing nothing, basically.
She's simply just living her life. So what does it mean? Simply, what does that mean? It's an adverb, and it means in a direct, straightforward manner. Okay? So she's just a woman living her life, but she really loves kind of the attention, right?
Right. So continuing, she loved secrecy. But she was just a Sphinx without a secret.
Ah, okay. So it turns out all this sneaking around, she, don't tell anyone we're dating. She just loved that the thrill, the excitement of secrecy.
Well, and Sphinxes are pretty famous for talking in riddles.
What does that mean, talking in riddles?
Talking a riddle just means you don't really speak directly. You say things in a way that you have to figure out the meaning, right?
So they don't talk simply.
They don't talk simply.
They talk with a lot of hidden meanings, and you kind of have to figure it out like solving a riddle, solving a problem, They don't talk directly, and that was Lady Alroy.
Sphinxes are a bit kind of mysterious, not very straightforward, not simple.
Well, think about it this way. She said she was meeting nobody. That's a weird way to say things.
Certainly is, yeah. And, acting really weird when he asked her about being, in the carriage, and
turns out she was just going
on. She was just acting.
She was acting. But these past 3 episodes have been a very interesting ride.
Yes. Very interesting. I suggest that you read the story yourself to fill in some of the details, because of course this is a summary of it, so some of the details are left out, but I think it is a quite interesting story.
It's interesting because this is a very old story, but it's still very relevant today.
Great. Okay.
Yes. So we'll see you on the next episode next time.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Murchison stared at her in surprise. Earlier that day, he saw her enter a strange house, so he took out the handkerchief she dropped and questioned her. Lady Alroy said she went there to meet nobody. Murchison didn't believe her. He got mad, said terrible things to her, and left. A month later, he read about her death in the newspaper. Then, Murchison explained why Lady Alroy went to the house. She simply sat, read books, and had tea. She loved secrecy, but she was just a Sphinx without a secret.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 handkerchief 名词手帕。Lily wiped away her tears with her handkerchief. 莉莉用手帕擦拭眼泪。Wipe 指的是擦拭。下一个单字 question， 动词直问。The police officer questioned Helen about where she was yesterday. 警官直问 Helen 昨天她人在哪里。下一个单字 terrible， 形容词糟糕的、差劲的。The director's new film was terrible. 那位导演的新电影很糟糕。最后一个单字 newspaper， 名词报纸。My grandpa often reads the newspaper in the morning. 我爷爷早上经常看报纸。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 stare at 加名词，瞪大眼睛看。Stare 是一个不及物动词，意思是凝视、注视。注意搭配的介系词要使用 at。我们来看看这个例句。Judy stared at the young man for a long time. Judy 注视那位年轻人很久了。下一个文法 in surprise， 惊讶的、讶异的。Surprise 在这里是一个不可数名词，意思是吃惊、诧异。我们来看看这个例句。Helen opened the door in surprise. It was her ex-boyfriend. Helen 惊讶地开了门，那是她的前男友。Ex-boyfriend 指的是前男友。最后一个文法 read about something， 得知某资讯。Read 在这里指的是得知、获悉，它的三态是 read, read, read。我们来看看这个例句。I read about the new technology in a magazine. 我在杂志上得知了这项新技术。Technology 指的是科技。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Today, we are going to visit BeiHai Tunnel. So what is a tunnel exactly? It's usually a passageway that is built under a body of land or water and is used to transport cars or trains. But in this particular situation with BeiHai Tunnel, this tunnel is used for something else entirely. So let's watch the video to find out. The BeiHai Tunnel was built during the 1970s to protect ships. The tunnel was completely dug out by hand. It took 820 days for workers to complete the tunnel. The tunnel is 18 meters high, 10 meters wide, and 640 meters long. Over 100 boats can hide in the tunnel. Visitors can walk on the path that goes around the tunnel. The path can only be used during low tide. BeiHai Tunnel is also one of the best places to see Mazu's blue tears. Visiting BeiHai Tunnel is a must on Mazu. So, BeiHai Tunnel is an ideal place to check out the blue tears. What are blue tears? They are algae that will light up a blue color if they are disturbed. You can usually see them from April to October when the water is warmer. So hopefully next time you visit BeiHai Tunnel, you'll be lucky enough to see the blue tears.